What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and today I've got a quick video for you to show you some advanced weapon tuning techniques to get the most out of your loadout in Modern Warfare 2. But first, download Jumpstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so the first step to fine-tuning your weapon in Modern Warfare 2, of course, is to get your weapon to max level, and you can see I have an M4 here at level 20. So now when I click on the gunsmith, I have the option to tune my attachments. Let's jump into the firing range real quick so you can see how the weapon handles before and after we fine-tune it so that you can see the impact that it has. Let's start with a little hip fire at close range. Alright, now let's do some medium range, fully auto. Okay, and now we're going to do some long distance like manual loads. Alright, obviously there's a lot of recoil, especially on that long distance one, so there are really two characteristics I'm going to try and improve the most here. I want to go for the win-win, and that is to increase the recoil stabilization and also increase the aim down the sight speed, or ADS in other words. All the other characteristics on these attachments are really personal preference. All right, so let me click on my FTAC Castle Comp, and you can see we have sliders on the bottom and on the left-hand side. The one on the bottom has one that affects recoil, which is gun kick control. And the other one, aiming idle stability, affects accuracy. So look at the chart here in the lower right-hand corner. You can see that when I move it to the right, it affects recoil. When I move it to the left, it affects accuracy. So how do you decide which one to go with and how much? Well, since I favor gun kick control, because I already said recoil stability is one of the things that I favor the most, I'm probably going to move the slider in that direction. But I suggest that you try moving it all the way to the right and all the way to the left and notice the movements, because you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of this. The two, gun kick control and aiming idle stability, are not going to increase and decrease at the same rates. Some of them are going to increase at a faster rate than the other one as you move the slider, and vice versa, meaning that sometimes you can get a whole lot out of the attachment without losing much on the other side, and sometimes you could end up just punishing your weapon more than you're helping it. So let's move the slider kind of quickly so that we can see what the movement looks like, and then we're going to do it slowly to see where we're getting the most benefit. So when I go to the right pretty quickly, I can see I'm getting a lot of recoil at first, and then towards the end of it, I'm decreasing the accuracy. When I go in the other direction to the left, you can see that I'm losing recoil a lot at first, and I'm getting a lot of accuracy towards the end. So for me, this is a pretty straightforward one, because when I go a little slower to the right, you can see I'm almost just like only gaining recoil. I'm not really hurting accuracy all that much to a certain point. It's when I get to right about here, I can really start to see accuracy be punished. So this is about where I want to stop it. Okay, and this is actually a pretty extreme movement of the bar. So 0.28 is kind of where I want this. This is a lot further over than I think a lot of the attachments are going to be. Now on the left-hand side, you can see I have a difficult choice to make, because I have recoil stabilization on one side and aim down the sight speed on the other side, and I want both. So does that mean I should not move the slider at all and just keep it in the middle? Well, no, we have to kind of test it and see. So we're going to move the slider back and forth and see where the movements are, and then we're going to slow them down and see which side gives us the biggest gain without sacrificing from the other side. So first, when I go towards a recoil stabilization, I can see pretty much at the same time, I'm gaining recoil and losing handling, but to me, it looks like I'm losing handling a lot faster than I'm gaining recoil. And then when I get to the upper end here, it looks like I'm getting a good bit of movement towards recoil right around here, but then I'm just losing handling at the very, very top. And the handling and the aim down the sight speed are kind of synonymous for one another. So let's go the other direction and see what happens. So when I go down here, it looks like I am gaining actually quite a bit of handling without losing a ton of recoil. In fact, I can get all the way to, let's see, right there looks like a good spot. I did lose some recoil, but I got a lot of handling out of that. So my aim down the sight speed is going to be quite a bit faster if I go that way. And this really is a tougher one, because you can gain a lot of recoil out of this one, but you do have to sacrifice a lot of handling. So I think the win-win for me in this particular situation is actually to go to the aim down the sight speed here, where I feel like I'm gaining a lot of speed and I'm not losing much recoil. So I'm going to put it right about there. And I think that's good. Now let's go around to the rest of them. So here we have hip fire accuracy and aim down the sight speed. I clearly favor aim down the sight speed more than hip fire accuracy, but I'm going to test both of them. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. So right away, we're gaining a lot of speed without sacrificing any hip fire accuracy. So I'm probably going to go with that, but let's look at the whole thing and see what happens. Yeah, see, we don't get much when we go towards hip fire accuracy. So I'm going to get it to the point at which it touches that sort of like inner circle there. And when it stops, without hurting any accuracy, I'm going to put it right there. Whoop, there we go. Okay, now we've got hip recoil control and hip walking speed. This isn't like super important unless you're doing a lot of running and gunning and need to hip fire a lot. But let's see if we get a lot of gain out of any one side, if it matters all that much. Actually, you know what? Like when I go like this, it's about even. It's about even that way. Going up, we lose a lot of, unfortunately, mobility going this way. For me personally, this is going to be a personal preference one. I do favor when I'm firing, hip firing especially, like you know how wild that can be. So for me personally, I'm going to favor hip recoil control. And I'm going to go to right about there is where I see the benefit. So right around 0.36. Okay. Continuing to the X10 grip, aiming idle stability and sprint to fire speed. I think sprint to fire speed is really important. So I'm probably going to go that direction if I can. So I'm going to test that one first. Oh yeah, we get a nice increase there. We do get aiming idle stability. Like we get a nice increase here without really hurting our sprint to fire speed. But you know, Modern Warfare 2, it's just so crazy and chaotic that like you have to be able to like stop and shoot at a moment's notice. So I'm favoring this side quite a bit. And we do get a little extra out of the top end there. How much does that hurt our accuracy? You know, I think it might be worth it. Speed is the name of the game. Aiming idle stability for this particular gun, I don't think is as important because I'm going to be doing a lot of close and medium range shooting. If this were a sniper rifle or some like medium to long distance type of weapon, I might not slide the slider all the way to the left here. I might actually favor, or at least try not to hurt the aiming idle stability as much. But I'm going to move it all the way to the max because I get like max sprint to fire speed out of that. And I think that's really important. So now we have this choice again between recoil steadiness and aim down the sight speed. Let's test both out. So at first, we're just losing a lot of recoil steadiness going this direction. And we don't actually end up gaining that much recoil steadiness going that direction. So let's see going the other direction if we can help this at all. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty good. Okay, look how much aim down the sight speed we're getting from that movement without hurting recoil all that much. Of course, if I keep going, I'm just going to hurt recoil and not really help the speed. So I think I'm going to go for this big movement right there. That looks pretty significant. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now we got the Cronen Mini Pro. I'm not going to mess with the eye position right now. That is really personal preference. Test it out. See what you think about it. But we got flinch resistance and aim down the sight speed. So for this one, I'm going to favor aim down the sight speed, of course. But flinch resistance also is actually, even though it has to do with accuracy, you're going to see the accuracy stat move there. It is a little bit like recoil in that the gun is moving like when you're getting hit. So I'm not against going towards flinch resistance if we get a lot of benefit out of that. However, if you're a good Call of Duty player, you're going to probably be the first one shooting at people quite a bit, in which case you want to be the first one to actually fire the gun accurately, and that would be aim down the sight speed. So I'm going to favor this side of it. Let's go with that and see what happens. We're not actually getting a whole lot of movement out of this one. We do get a lot of the aim down the sight speed increase right in this range. And when we go up, we actually do get a lot of good flinch resistance out of this. See that? So actually, if you're somebody who gets shot a lot and just has a problem with the flinch resistance, then you might want to go this direction. But I do want to fire faster and more accurately, so I'm going to go this direction. This is really personal preference. You can see it maxes out right around there before it really starts hurting the accuracy. Okay, and then we have one left here, and that is damage range and aim down the sight speed, and recoil steadiness and aim walking speed. So if your gun is weak, you might want to go towards the damage range a little bit, but I'm going to favor aim down the sight speed again. Let's just see what both look like. So when I go this direction, yeah, look at that nice big improvement in the handling by going that direction. And at the top end, we're only hurting damage. We're not actually helping the handling at the top range. If we go towards damage, let's see what happens. Oh, that's actually pretty bad. You can see like the most damage range increase, like the damage dealt and the range is right around in this range, but I don't feel like the gain is as big as this right here. See this handling increase? You get that little burst there, but you're really hurting your handling doing that. So I'm going to go with this movement right here. That seems to be the sweet spot. 0.11. Yeah, and there's just no benefit beyond the 0.11, so I'm going to keep it there. All right, so now we've tuned all of the attachments. Let's go back to the firing range and see if that affected things. We're going to start with the hip fire again. Oh, nice. All right, let's go with the medium range fully auto. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. That dot like did not move. And then we'll do a little manual like long distance. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. All right, so that's how you do some advanced tuning techniques. Of course, there is a lot more to this than just fine tuning. You got to make sure that you have the right attachments on here. So, you know, go through your progression of unlocking things to get those on, then you can fine tune them and hit those sweet spots to make your weapons work the best for you. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.